So as I drive away from the house this afternoon, I came to a realization that I figured I'd better log. And of course, this has to do with the divorce and how things are going to be in the future dealing with that divorce, because I have come to the kind of startling and depressing realization that unlike some of the other people that I cared about in my past, because of every time that I moved, and we moved so frequently, I often lost touch with those people, and they were just gone. They were out of my life. For good or for bad, they were out of my life. And when Jennifer came over about a half an hour ago, I realized, oh my God, she's never going to be out of my life. I am never going to be able to walk away and forget about her the way that I have been able to forget about some of the other people in my life. And how do I deal with that? I can't afford to have a nanny who can take care of the kids while I am out doing other things. I can't afford to not have her help me with the kids. It would be easier to have her out of my life if I had $5 million and I could just drop them off at her apartment every other weekend and not have to talk to her ever. But I can't do that. So how am I going to treat her? How am I going to address her? How am I going to... What sort of a relationship do I now have with my ex-wife? Because I can't get her out of my life. I'm not saying I have all the answers right now, but it is a thought that occurred to me as I was walking out the door, getting ready to run some errands. And I was going down a list of things to tell Jennifer, kind of the same way that I would go down a list of things to tell Danielle when we lived in Maryland, or a list of things to get told by Patty back in Connecticut when I would come home from work. Do I now treat my ex-wife like I used to treat my nannies? A polite, formal, slightly friendly set of conversations with the other person who takes care of my children? I don't know that that's going to work. I don't know how that's going to make me feel. I suppose I can give it a try. It is gonna be a work in progress, I realize, but I am going to have to come up with some sort of parameters, some sort of set of rules for how I treat Jennifer every time she comes over to the house to take over. And it's gonna happen week in and week out. I think one of the main ironies that I see here is that when we first began having a nanny help us out, it was because I could not get enough sleep. Jennifer would be gone from the house in Connecticut at work during the day, and I would come home from work and have to take care of the kids, and I was just not getting enough sleep. And so Patty helped us out simply for the fact that I needed more sleep. And when we arrived in Maryland, the roles reversed themselves. We hired Shante and then Danielle because Jennifer was never there. She was always at work. And I was getting relatively enough sleep. And Danielle was taking care of the kids in replacement of Jennifer. And so it was really Danielle and I who were raising the kids in Maryland. And when we got here, we couldn't afford a nanny because I didn't have a job. And even if I had gotten a job, that job would have merely been to pay for the nanny. And maybe I should have done that. Maybe I should have gotten a job and paid for a nanny to once again replace Jennifer as far as taking care of the kids.